What's up, guys? Today we have a lesson in what to not do with your radiator. I have my old Koyo. This was purchased from Sr20det Racing back in 2005, and it has to go. I'll show you why, tell you how. But really the whole point of this is to compare this old school Koyo with the new ISR performance radiator. Didn't find much online about it, so figured we do a video to show you if you're contemplating on what you want to do. Now, I would have went with one of the Sr20det X line or maybe the Koyo Inflow, but they weren't in stock, and Juku had the ISR performance in stock, sitting on the shelf, $270 plus tax, and they're only 45 minutes away from me, so I went with that. Very comparable to this Koyo. Not necessarily the new ones, I don't know about those. But as you see here, I have the bottom end tank of the radiator. I cut it off because I, over the course of 20 years, at some point used tap water to mix with the coolant. Never do that, and here's why. They've built up calcium deposits in the radiator, of which I have soaked this thing for several days in CLR to try to clear it. Now it did clear. There was like pebbles, like chunky, pebbly things in there that it did actually break up, and I was able to flush out. But let me make sure this is showing. What it did leave was this film of stuff. See, it's flaking off as I do this. This film of stuff that I'm literally not going to be able to get off. Now, is it that big a deal? I don't know. I don't know enough about thermodynamic properties or whatever it is to know if this is actually acting as almost an insulator. The water isn't actually making surface with the metal, and therefore the air going through the radiator isn't getting close enough to the water's not contacting the metal to contact the air to remove the heat. Maybe this is acting like an insulator. I mean, doesn't look good to me. So I chopped this off to see if I could take and clean out these ports. All the ports are clean, no more pebbles. But after seeing this layer of crap, I said, nope, it's got to go. So what I did, oh my God. So what I've got is this ISR performance. It's for an S14 with an Sr20 swap, and it drops right in, direct bolt on, boom, boom, and then this hose will go down there. That tells you how long I've had this stuff. It's been a while, so it was due, and I love that radiator, but it's not going to work. It's not going to work. So what I'm going to do right now is do some measurements to kind of show you the differences. So you can make your own decision on what you want to do, or if you want to go with a slightly larger Sr20det X line, or maybe the Koyo Inflow. I don't know. Again, I have no idea what those, what those are all about. So this is about 60 millimeters, the top end tank. This is about 60 millimeters. Then you've got end tank to end, about 660. Sorry, if I put it correct, you'll be able to see. About 660. Check. Excellent. 665. A little wider. Oh, and these are different because this is actually for an S13 with an Sr20. That's why the points are here, and here they're here. But other than that, it's basically the same. Now, if I take and put let's just put the in-tank back on. Here I've got about 430. And here I have about 440. Now, yeah, well, that's a little more, 445. And I contribute a little bit of that to this drop here. So it's probably not that much different. But then the big one, what I consider the big one, is the actual width of the core. And let's go right to the outside of there and right to the side of here to 52. Oops, let me just get that over. About 52. Yeah, 52. And let's measure it on here. That comes out to 51. So, for all intents and purposes, they're identical. And some of this could be chalked up to S13 versus S14. It's basically pretty negligible. And yes, I can tell that some of the welds and stuff on here, and granted, like I said, this thing's old. The welds on a lot of this seem a lot better than this. I mean, the quality's not as good, but as long as it holds pressure, I mean, I'm good with it. I mean, I do like that it has the mounts for the fans and all. I mean, I have my own Flexolites and that were on the old Koyo. But I considered almost more important than the radiator, and since it's comparable to this Koyo, almost more important is going to be ducting. So I've been working on metal ducting that's not fully down in place, and I'm going to have ducting over here to the side, which again is not fully down in place. I want to channel as much airflow through the radiator as possible, and some of the old school SR20 stuff that tested a bunch of radiators. The big thing that they found, the most important thing, you can drop almost 10 degrees just by ducting the radiator correctly, because your air is going to take the path of least resistance. So if your air is coming through your bumper, because then that's restricted, and then through your intercooler, it's going to go, oh, here, I can slip around, and I can slip under. I mean, I have the panel there now, but before, just highly inefficient. And after having this on the track, I was running like 215 degrees the whole time. Yeah, granted that's not really in the danger zone, but that's a little high for me. So hopefully, new radiator, I'm placing this guy super clean. Always use distilled water and the proper amount of coolant. Might put some water wetter in there as well. That enhances the thermal properties of the water. It helps it dissipate heat better. Wherever they say, blah, blah, blah. And hopefully that's going to keep this thing cool on the track. But I couldn't find anything when I was searching for this, so hopefully if you're debating on what to get, I couldn't even find dimensions of the ISR performance radiators. So hopefully that will show you what, compared to something like this, what you could possibly be looking at. So I probably won't have an update on how it runs and the temperatures on this video But maybe I'll just put it in the comments down below, or in the description, I mean, and kind of give an update, yay or nay, or I wasted my money about it. And, but, you know, that was 2/3 the price of the comparable Koyo or the Mishimoto, so I couldn't say no. And hoping for the best. So, anyway, any questions, hit me up. Appreciate it.